Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I'm going to actually see if I can mute everyone just. Let me see if I can figure out how to mute all, just for our sake. And maybe if you guys can all go in and mute yourself if you're up and about, just for the sake of. Let me see if I can get it. Sorry, I thought I had this figured out, and now it's not letting me do it. But if you guys would just mute yourself, that would be helpful, just for the recording, so there's not a ton of background noise. And then you can come off, because we want it to be a discussion. But we wanted to do this as a strategy session. So a very specific strategy session of, ideas and things that can help you be successful going into the holiday season, specifically Thanksgiving, because obviously it's the week of Thanksgiving. It is a time where food is the focus. And if you're working towards health goals, that can be a real challenge and a real hurdle to kind of navigate. So there's a couple choices I want you to think about, and I want participation. So if you're busy and you can't jump in and talk, that's fine. But comments in the comment thing or the chat would be awesome. But how many, by raise of hand, are on the 5-in-1 program currently as a client? Okay, couple. I know there's probably a couple that aren't. Oh, Mark, can you hear us? He's trying to get headphones going. I know Mark's on 5-in-1. Okay, a couple are on 5-in-1. How many of you intend to stay on your designated program during the holidays? Who wants to stay on 5-in-1 during the holidays? Okay, good. Some, I see an if. Okay, hey, honesty is key. And this is why we want to talk. I've been a coach for 6 years, and I have seen every situation when it comes to holidays. I've seen lots and lots of people who get to this point and they make the decision that, hey, I'm going to have Thanksgiving dinner. And they make the decision, and it's a choice to go and stray away from their 5-in-1 plan. And we'll talk about some things that will help you there. But I have also had clients who have been brand new on their program, and they stick to their program. And there are very real options for you there to make sure that you can be on the 5-in-1 program or the nursing program or whatever your program is, and not stray from that. So I think the important thing, and we're going to save part of this for Nicole because she has an awesome presentation plan. Hopefully she gets home. But I want you guys to think about just a couple strategies. So strategies for being successful during the holidays. The things that I've thought of with my clients and in the past, and then as a client myself. So 6 years ago, I started this, and I was able to lose about, it was about, I think, 18 pounds going into Thanksgiving. So I was in a really good fat burn at the time. And my husband and I were both doing it. And we both made the decision that when Thanksgiving came, we were just going to go off and enjoy Thanksgiving. And I can tell you, the taste of the food was not worth the way we felt. It was not worth it to me after doing it. I regretted it because I just felt so crummy inside. I was amazed at how different my body felt going from eating lean and greens and eating my 5 fuelings and being really conscious and drinking all my water to having one day when I was like, do you know what? I'm going to have a roll. I'm going to have my potatoes. And I just felt crummy. So the first step or strategy is to go in with a plan. So figure out what you want to do. Do you want to stick to your 5-in-1? If you do and you raise your hand, that's amazing. We have recipes that are healthy swaps that are really good. A sample menu that one client, she did this, it was last year, no, 2 years ago. She was on program and she was on 5-in-1. She did not want to stray from that. She didn't want to disrupt the amazing results and the way she was feeling. Her menu consisted of a couple things. She made Revolution rolls, which we can get you that recipe, instead of regular rolls. And the Revolution rolls are made with egg whites, and they're really good. They're just an option for bread. She also did cauliflower mashed potatoes for her whole family. Her whole family made that healthy swap, which is amazing. She did a green bean, just a really nice green beans, not in the casserole, just fresh green beans that she cooked. She did, I'm trying to remember back, she had a really beautiful green salad, so she made sure that the presentation was amazing for that, so she felt like she was eating something special. And then she made a pumpkin pie. That's the healthy hack that we send out to all of our clients. And if you haven't got it yet, talk to your coach, because that's a really good option. And she made sure that she just ate the white meat from the turkey, and she was totally fine. She talked to me later. She didn't feel deprived. She didn't feel like she was left out from her family dinner. Her family ate a lot of the healthy swaps, and she was totally on 5-in-1, other than she said she probably had too many greens because she had the green beans and the green salad, and that was okay. She felt like that was a huge victory for her. So by raise of hand, how many of you as I talk about that, does that sound doable to you? Okay, yeah. If you haven't tried those recipes, they're legit, like they're good. They're really, really yummy. I'm taking the lean and green green bean casserole to my family dinner. That's what we will take. And that's where I want to get into a couple healthy strategies. So if you're staying on 5-in-1 and maybe you're eating at somebody else's house, is that a concern? Yes, that's hard, right? That's a hard thing to do, to go into someone else's house and kind of be at their liberty of like, what are they gonna have? Like, you never know. So tell people, number one is tell the people around you what you are doing. Tell them your goals. Tell your spouse, tell your brother, tell your mom, whoever you're eating your best friend your dinner with, tell them what you're doing. And the reason I say that is to hold yourself accountable. And Nicole has a really good example of this. She's not ready to talk yet, and that's okay. But she has a good example because her and her husband started the program together, and they were made sure that they're accountable to one another. If you tell someone close to you what your plan is, then they can help you in that moment of temptation when the rolls are passed around and you're having that moment of, oh, I really want to roll. Then all it takes is a little reminder of, hey, you remember what your goals were? Hey, remember, like, I'm just here to support you. I'm not the food police, but I'm here. They're just here as a support. The second strategy that I thought of is use a smaller plate. And I wanted to get my plates, but I am sitting in a position where it would be hard to get plates out. But a 9-inch plate, so like the salad plate size, or there's like a size in between that.
How come I can't hear?
Is a really good solution. Have smaller plates and fill your plate first with. I'm just gonna mute Nicole really quick. There we go. Fill your plate first with vegetables. So you want to make sure that if you look at a 9-inch plate, or even like a 12-inch plate is fine if you want to use bigger plates, but fill half of that plate with your greens first. Thank you, Vicky, for putting these in the chat. So fill half of it first with those green beans, that beautiful salad, whatever your green is for the meal. And then if you imagine this big plate, half of it's veggies, and then divide the other half in half. So then you have fourths. A fourth of that should be the white meat from the turkey. Okay, if you want to do dark meat, that's fine, but you just don't get your healthy fat with it. So the white meat, you can have more meat. That's a lot of turkey. And then the other fourth is if you're not sticking to 5-in-1 and you're wanting to kind of venture off for the holidays, that's where you can put like a healthy starch. Like you could do a sweet potato or maybe a little taste of stuffing, something like that. But fill your plate with the vegetables first. That's a huge, huge thing. Let's see. Take healthy options. That's what I started talking about. Take something healthy so you're guaranteed to have something that you know is on your program. That's why I'm taking the green bean casserole. I know for sure that green bean casserole is not made with cream of chicken soup. I know that it's not loaded with sodium, and I know that it's something that if all else, I can have extra of that if I'm still really wanting more. Take something that you can have, and I do that for anything, not just for holidays. For any dinner we go to, I always bring something healthy. The most important strategy I can tell you guys for the holidays, and it's a little saying that you should get used to. Focus on friendships, not food. Okay? Think about what that means. Thanksgiving is a day where we go and we interact with, the people we love, people that are important to us, whether it's family, friends. So often we make food the focus, but if we can turn that focus around and focus it on the friendships instead of the food, that's just a huge mindset shift for us right there. So fill your plate, sit down, eat really slow, and really just focus on great conversations that are taking place around you. That's what I have found the best thing to do at any party. Walk away from the food table, walk away from that, and just focus on the people. And it makes that holiday so much more enriching for you as well, which is really powerful. And then the last thing is, whatever you do, you make your choice. Maybe you're saying you're going to go on 5 and 1, and let's say you venture off and those sweet potato, the yams with marshmallows, they just look incredible, right? That's my favorite Thanksgiving thing. The yams and the stuffing. My grandma's stuffing is something that I get once a year, and it's really hard for me to pass up. So what do I do if I go in to be on 5 and 1? I go in saying I'm going to stick to my 5 and 1, and I actually have some of those. Let's hear it. What would you guys do? Vicky, what would you do? You're on mute, so you have to unmute yourself. Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can.
There you go. Your question again was, what would I do?
Yeah, what would you do if you found yourself in that situation where you cheated? I hate to call it a cheat, but that's what we all say, a cheat, right?
Choose.
Yeah, you're choosing that. So what do you do? What does your next choice look like, Vicky?
Well, I would know I wouldn't have to have a whole lot of it. I'd have a couple of spoonfuls, put it on the plate, and enjoy every bit of it. Just let it melt in my mouth and just have fun with it. And not I didn't have to have a cup and a half of whatever it was. But leave the guilt somewhere else.
I love that. The thing that I want to encourage you guys is that if you make that decision, and that is something that you choose, we don't call it a cheat, we call it a choose. Somebody's a little, no, there we go, I think I got it. We don't want to call it a cheat because we're never cheating. We're always making a choice, like Vicky said, to savor it. But your next choice should not be like the spiral effect of, oh my gosh, I'm off program, I might as well just throw the whole day out the door. It should be, do you know what? I made that choice, and my next choice is going to be an optimal choice, meaning it's in line with my goals or what I want most. And that's where you make that switch from the diet mentality of like the yo-yo, the back and forth rocking chair, to just going full steam ahead, is that you are now able to move forward and not feel the guilt of like, I cheated. You're like, do you know what? I made that choice to have those yams, and they were really, really delicious. But my next choice is I'm going to have a big, huge glass of water, and I'm going to go focus on friendships, and I'm not going to have a ton of other distractions to take me away from that. Okay. I am going to give Nicole just a second. Are you ready, Nicole? Oh, hold on. Okay. There you go.
Can I share something really quick?
Yes, please.
So, if you are in a car and I've shared this with several of my clients, but if you're in your car and one of your tires goes flat, and you get out and you have to fix it, are you going to go around and punch all the other tires and make them go flat too? Or are you just going to fix the one that's broken? So if you choose an unhealthy option, are you just going to go, oh, I've just ruined my whole day, and so it doesn't matter anymore? Or are you just going to, the next choice you make it a good one?
Yep. I love that. Thank you, Karen. Okay, Nicole. Nicole has just some awesome tips and tricks for us for overeating that she wanted to share.
Can you hear me, Cami?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Well, I guess everybody should be able to hear me. Okay, sorry, a little frazzled, a little unexpected this evening. That's okay though. I actually want to share my screen, and I practiced this before. So I wanted to talk about overeating because it's something that I really struggled with. Is that up?
Yep,
No?
you're good. Yeah, we got it.
Okay, but it's not on full screen. I have always struggled with emotional eating and overeating. And so I'm very visual though. So when I was thinking about this, I started coming up with all these words that I feel when I do overeat. And these are the feelings that I get when I overeat. The headache, being sluggish, feeling really disappointed in myself, not being comfortable, and angry that I didn't stick with what my goals were. I know I heard Cami talk about a plan, and I just can't stress that enough, that I not only think like telling a loved one, but someone that you trust, but even journaling about it. Whenever I write something, it makes me more accountable to myself. I have found that when I overeat, I'm always at the end, the way I would describe the feeling is I'm like, why did I do that? Because it didn't taste any better on that last bite than on the first bite. So a few of the things that I came up with, again, visuals for me, so I have pictures, but I know Cami talked about how our plate should be divided, and I actually found, this is Dr. A's, how he asks us to divide the plate in Habits of Health. So if you choose a smaller plate, you're obviously visually going to see, as you put things on your plate, it's going to fill up faster, but visually you're still going to be seeing like, oh, I have a plate full of food. And breathing. I know that sounds really silly, but it's not a race. We need to enjoy it. And I even read something about someone that puts their fork down in between every bite. And again, I just think that has to do with registering, like being conscious of what we're doing, making the choice. I loved this, that I found the 3-bite rule. And Cami had talked to me about this, but it was 1 bite to say hello, 1 bite to savor the flavor, and 1 bite to say goodbye. I was like, I love that, because after that, you're really not tasting it anymore. You're not. This is something I've recently started doing. I went down a pant size last month, and so I am not wearing my pants that are loose and comfy anymore. I am wearing my pants that fit my body as a reminder that I don't want to feel bloated. I don't want to get bigger. I want to fit and feel good, and I feel good in these pants. And then, like Cami said, focusing on the experience and the people. I think I wish that was more of what we could shift our holiday, this holiday especially, as it's so food focused, that it's about all of the relationships around us and making memories. So that's what I have.
Awesome. Thank you. So I love a couple of the things that Nicole said. The 3-bite rule, I think, is super powerful. If you're someone that's like, you know what, I want to have a taste of my favorite things, keep it to a taste. Don't feel like you have to, because you're eating something for one day, that you have to, indulge in everything. And science actually shows that after 3 bites, the flavor is no longer as good as it was those first 2 or 3 bites. So enjoy it, that first bite, and then say goodbye to it and move on. And if that's what you need. If you're ready to stick to the 5-in-1, then let's work closely with your coach. Come up with a plan, make sure you have options for yourself. I wanted to just touch on a couple other things. I don't know exactly who everyone is in my audience. I've had a couple questions with my clients come up about alcohol on the 5-in-1 program. Here is my recommendation on alcohol. If it is something that is really, really important to you to have, I have a client who is not on here, but she has told me that is a priority. That is part of their holiday celebration. There is not an alcohol that is approved for 5-in-1 to help you stay in fat burn. That is just the reality. And other coaches that are on here, if you want to jump in on or contribute to this, what I have found is there are better options there's like good, better, and best, right? The best would be to just drink water, to make sure that you get your water in. Better would be to get all of your water in and maybe have 1 glass of whatever your choice drink is. And, obviously we don't want to just have, an alcoholic beverage just with your meal. Like, we want to make sure we're centering that or surrounding it with water. Maybe I am wrong, but I've been told that red wine is the lowest carb option. If you are going to have that and make that choice, then make it a choice and have 1 glass of the lowest carb option, and make sure that you really embrace that. And it might not apply to anyone here on the call, but if we send this playback out, I wanted to make sure that we address that. But again, focus on the people rather than the need to feel like we have to have that drink to contribute to a group or a party. I think that's really important. I wanted to open it up for the last 10 minutes or 5-ish minutes, however much time we have, to you clients. So what questions do you have? Because all of us as coaches have gone through at least one holiday season, I believe, right? I think everyone on here as a coach has been through one holiday season. So we all have experience going through this, navigating it as clients and as coaches. And I want to open it up to your questions. If you have questions on recipe ideas, healthy swaps, anything, let's just open it up, and it's your time to ask. I mean, this is your call for your good. Just make sure you have to take yourself off mute. I think everyone's on mute right now. So if you have questions, take yourself off, and then you can ask. And maybe introduce yourself quickly before you do it. Oh,
I'm Renee. Can you hear me?
yes, I can now. Hi, Renee.
Hey, I have a question, and I think kind of through reading this, I've learned this, and I'm trying to learn because I just became a coach like this week. But my family doesn't just get together for a meal, and I think a lot of our families don't. We meet around noon and have lunch together, and then we graze all night long. And then we stay until like 10 o'clock at night. And so then the food is all there and everything. So one of the things I notice is a lot of times people will go back for more,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd heard about this, like going ahead and breaking up your lean and green would be something that we could do. How would that work in with the 6 meals?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Splitting up your lean and green is totally fine. And other coaches, feel free to jump in on this. Lots of my clients prefer that even when it's not the holidays, because they feel full longer. They feel like they're hungrier earlier in the day. So what I have encouraged is you can even combine one of your fuelings with part of a lean and green. So you can have like a shake with like a small salad or like some cucumbers and some of your green. You can mix and match. You just want to make sure that you're still fueling your body every 2.5 to 3 hours. Does that make sense? Okay. And that actually leads me to something I forgot to mention. When it is Thanksgiving Day, do not skip meals leading up to Thanksgiving dinner. You want to make sure you wake up, you still eat within the first 30 minutes, no matter what program you're doing. Eat within 30 minutes, have a shake within about 30 minutes of your actual Thanksgiving dinner. That's a really good trick I've learned. Before any big holiday meal, have a shake about 30 minutes before, and it's going to help you feel full going into the meal, so you're going to naturally eat less during the meal. It's a really good trick, actually. It helps a ton. For anything, like Sunday dinners, anything where you're afraid you're going to overeat, just drink one of your healthy fueling shakes about 30 minutes before you go in. And that helps. Great question.
Also, as far as you asked how it works, you could do it where you literally say, okay, I'm going to have 3/4 of a cup of vegetables and 3 ounces or 3.5 ounces or whatever. I think it's 6 ounces of turkey. So 3 ounces of turkey, and then again for another time. But also, I think it really wouldn't hurt, especially if you're going to be up later than you normally are, something like that, is if you went with if you split your lean and green, and that means you ended up with 7 meals technically because of your fuelings, that it's not like, oh my gosh, you just ruined the whole day. It's okay because you're still getting the same amount of food per day for the whole day.
Yeah, that's awesome. Anyone else have anything? We have lots of time, so if anyone has questions. Any concerns that you guys have going in, things that concern you as clients?
Can I say something? Even I'm your client still, Cami. So
Yep.
I think one of the things I thought about is I think that when you go to family dinners, there can be like a pressure, like a peer pressure. And we're adults. But so, well, why aren't you eating that? And, oh, you have to eat this because grandma makes it. And I think that it's really, again, going back to having a plan, it's okay to tell people like, I eat this way for my health. That's kind of what I have started to say, and it's never questioned. If you start telling somebody, I'm on a diet, which none of us are, we're making healthy choices. Oh no, you don't need to do that, dear. You need to, and they'll just start piling something on your plate for you. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm giving you permission to tell your family, I'm making healthy choices. Thank you for being concerned about me. I'm making healthy choices.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Do you mind if I jump in one more time?
Nope, go ahead.
So that totally, Nicole reminded me last year when I was at Thanksgiving with my in-laws, and they knew that I was trying to eat healthy, and I wasn't putting any of the sugary, potatoes and all of that on my plate. And my mother-in-law goes, well, you can choose to have some things every once in a while. And so I said, so I didn't actually say anything, but my husband then turned to her and said, yes, but we're choosing not to. And then she just literally, that was it. She stopped and I didn't eat it and we moved on. So she was kind of trying to shame me into like, you're offending me by not eating my food. And we just were like, it's okay. Thank you. We're not going to this time, but I appreciate it.
I've been there a few times as well. I have been at lots of family dinners where they can't understand why I'm choosing not to have one of the things. And I've gotten to the point where I tell people I feel better when I don't have those things. My body thanks me when I eat the right things, and I feel better when I'm eating, those other kind of choices. And believe me, I still have treats here and there in maintenance. Like I do not deprive myself of things that I love, but I've learned how to balance it and what is the most important part of my day and of the things that I put in my body. That's the most important to me. Vicki, did you have something? Oh, Vicki just disappeared. Vicki's gone. She was on. Anyone else? Any of you brand new clients that are just trying to figure out how to navigate this? There's a couple on, I know. Nothing? Okay, well, I guess we will end there if there's nothing else we want to share. But if you think of something, maybe you have something in your mind, you're a little bit shy about being on live, send your coach a text, give him a call. I know that we are all happy to help in any way we can. I know that you can survive the holidays and thrive during the holidays. You just have to put your mind to it. The one thing I would leave you with, it's my most favorite quote. I use it for every aspect of my life. I use it in basketball. I use it with my kids. It's the chief cause of failure and unhappiness is trading what you want most for what you want at the moment. And I live by that. If you decide that you want health the most in your life, if you want to have, to reach whatever your why is, why you began this program, if you want to reach a certain gene size, if you want to feel a certain way, if you want to go off medications, if you have a weight loss goal, whatever that is, if that why is strong enough, then don't let anything take you in another direction. I just go back to what I first said when I first started this, is that first Thanksgiving, I decided to go off and ate whatever I wanted. And I thought it was such a reward for the hard work I had done. I was down 17 pounds. I deserve to have this food. Like, that's what I told myself. And I promise you, it did not feel good. It felt so awful. And the taste of the food was not worth the way it made me feel. So just keep that in mind. Don't trade what you want very most for something as it's being passed around the table because you think you want it in the moment. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say yes if that's what you choose, but make sure whatever you're choosing is in line with what you ultimately want. Anything else? We're good? Thank you all for jumping on. Thank you for trusting us and letting us work with you. And we are excited to hear your successes. We'll have to touch base next week and hear the amazing non-scale victories and successes we have over the break. So have a great night. We will see everyone later. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.